What is up, my Forex for Beginners family? Okay, today we're going to study support and resistance. Many of you have maybe heard about support and resistance, maybe some of you haven't. But when I learned to find support and resistance this particular way, it opened my eyes. And it also took me many years to discover this information, and now I'm passing it on to you. You're lucky because you're going to learn this really early in your trading career, and you're going to save yourself a lot of time. I invested in a lot of courses. I took 13 courses actually. I bought 13, spent 6 months on each of them. And eventually I weeded out all the good information, and I've composed this course just for you. So this one particular way I find support and resistance is unbelievable, and I'm really happy to share it with you. Okay, just one last reminder. We as traders, we need one amazing piece of software, and that's TradingView. That's what we're doing right now. We're looking at TradingView. We do our chart analysis on TradingView. If you haven't signed up for TradingView, I highly suggest you sign up for the 30-day free trial. Finish my course in 30 days, and at the end of that free training, decide whether trading is for you or not. But give this course 100% your effort. TradingView is not going to cost you anything. You can try it out for 30 days. And I'm telling you, once you combine TradingView with my training, you'll be obsessed with trading and you'll never look back. Trust me. Okay, let's get back into the training. Okay, so what I advised you guys last lesson was that we are all studying AUD USD, so the Australian dollar versus the US dollar together. I want you to watch these lessons, and then I want you to duplicate it on your own charts, and then I want you to post in the student group, and I want you to prove to me and prove to the student group that you understand each lesson that you're going to do, and that's going to increase your ability to learn quicker, and you're going to absorb knowledge, and you're going to get positive feedback, and you're going to learn faster than ever before. So I'm telling you, please use the student group to your advantage. Okay, so we're going to study AUD USD. If you haven't changed your charts over to AUD USD, do that now. You should have done that last lesson. And now let's look into support and resistance. Okay, so for support and resistance, this secret way of finding support and resistance, we're going to be switching between candlestick chart. So this is a candlestick chart and line chart. So this is what line chart is. And what's the difference between candlestick chart and line chart is, see how these wicks, so you have the candle, let me grab my arrow tool, 1 second. So you have the candle, and then you have these wicks. See these, well, this one doesn't have a wick, but right here. So there's a wick on this candle, there's the body, and then there's the wicks. So when you switch to line chart, it actually just removes the candle and it removes the wick. So this is just the closing price, but you don't need to really focus too much on that. Just keep in your mind that line chart removes the wicks, and it obviously changes it to line chart and not candlesticks. So first I'm going to show you to make sure you have these shortcuts. So if you look up here, this is line chart, this is candlestick. So I need you to be able to, throughout your trading career, you're going to be switching between line chart and candlesticks when you need to find new support and resistance lines. So if you see this little arrow right here, you can just click on it and make sure that candlesticks is favorited. So you can just click it and it'll show a gold star. And then line chart, make sure it's selected and you see a gold star. That means it's favorited, and you'll see it up here. So it'll be like a shortcut. We're also going to be using the horizontal line tool. So I'm going to move this is my shortcut menu. You should, or shortcut bar. you should have one as well. We're going to be using the horizontal line tool. So like I said in the previous chapter, if you want to move it around, you just left click and hold, and then you can move it around. If you don't have this shortcut here yet, you should have added it in the previous chapters, but if you haven't, I can show you right now. So if you go to the left here, the second option here, is showing a horizontal line tool. If you click here, it'll show you various tools, but you want to make sure you have trend line, horizontal ray, arrow, and parallel channels. Have those ones favorited. So once you favorite it, we're going to be using the horizontal line tool, and you should have it favorited right here. Okay, so I want you to just go ahead and click on the horizontal line tool and then just left click on your chart here. Yours might be a different color, or I'm not sure exactly what you may see, but I'm going to teach you how to modify your line and save it. Let's do that again. I'm going to delete it. Just hit the horizontal line tool with the left mouse button and then click on your chart, and it'll print it on your chart. So here we're going to modify how it looks. So I want you to, you can pick any color you want. I now use all black horizontal lines for my support and resistance. It just makes the chart look cleaner, and we're going to label it as well, so you'll know whether it's a monthly or weekly, daily support and resistance. It'll be labeled. Okay, so go ahead and select black or whichever color you prefer. We're going to select the third thickness, so 1, 2, 3, the third thickness, and then we're going to let me see. We're going to also select lock. So I want you to lock it. When you lock it, that means you can't move it. See, if I'm trying to move it, if I unlock it, then I can move it around. Why I want you to lock all your support and resistance lines, because once we accurately draw in support and resistance lines, we don't want to move them. They're going to stay on your charts for a long time, and they stay valid for an endless amount of time. So that's why we're going to also lock it. So I want you to just right now, we're trying to save a profile, a horizontal line profile. So we selected the color, we selected the third line thickness. You can click on this gear right here, and we're going to put in a text. We're going to type in monthly. So type in monthly. That's because up here on the top here, we're on the monthly chart right now. We're going to start something I call top-down analysis. So we're going to start on the monthly time frame. We're going to draw in monthly support and resistance. Then we're going to move down to weekly support and resistance. So right now we're on the monthly chart. We're going to be labeling our horizontal line monthly. When I labeled it here, see how it showed up here, monthly, nice and clean looking on the left-hand side. We can also, the text alignment, I want you to select bottom, and I want you to select left. So it'll be on the bottom of this line, and it'll be on the left-hand side away from our view of the charts. We want to keep our charts nice and clean. So right now it says italics. You don't have to have that selected. Actually, select that off. We can make it bold. It's up to you. But the main things you want to do is have monthly and the alignment, bottom, left, and let's go to visibility. Make sure all of these are clicked on, and it should say all 1, 1, 1, and then this should be all the way to the right. So 59, 59, 24, 36. These are just, is representing days, hours, minutes, seconds. We just want this line showing on all of our charts. Okay, so have it visible on all of these selected, and this should be all 1, and then you can control it with this sliding bar. So just make sure the sliding bar is all the way slid to the left and right. And then coordinates, we're not going to put any coordinates. That's actually the position of the line. That doesn't matter right now. We're going to manually move that. Text, we've already done this. monthly. Oh yeah, make sure it says show text is selected. You can leave this size, color is black, and make sure you can see it here, and then click on style, black, and templates. So now we can go save as, and you can type monthly, M-O-N-T-H, or type monthly, and then hit save. I already have one saved, so it's saying, do you want to override it? I'm going to say no because I already saved it, but you won't get that warning. You may in the future. If you're trying to save a new monthly, you can go ahead and hit yes and override it. So it's just saying that file name is already saved. But now check this out. So when, say we're drawing a new line, who knows what color it might be, you're like, oh no, that line is supposed to be a monthly support and resistance. Now you can just go up here where it says templates, and you can click on monthly, and there you go. It's a nice black line. It says monthly. Okay, so how do we draw monthly support and resistance? That's the question. Okay, so I'm just going to slide this over here to get it out of the way. So the secret way that I've learned to draw accurate support and resistance lines, first we're going to make sure we're on the monthly chart. I want you to watch this video once, and then I want you to duplicate it on your own charts, okay? So we're going to start on the monthly chart. We're going to now, see here, this up here in the middle here, this is candlesticks. We're on candlesticks right now. We're going to switch to line chart. This is what line chart looks like. So whenever we're looking for support and resistance, we're going to start, this is the newest data. See where it says 2020? We're going to start looking for support and resistance areas, and if we can't find any, then we start looking further back into older data. So always start looking for areas that we can draw support and resistance with the newest data first. So I'm going to go ahead and draw our first line, and then let me find a position, and then I'll tell you how I found it. So I'm going to click on the horizontal line tool, and I'm going to start from the bottom of the newest data, and you should have see my cursor, how it has a cross. If you don't have the vertical cross, just go up here on the top left here and make sure you have cross selected. Okay, so just click on that, make sure you have the cross selected, and then you'll see exactly what I'm seeing. So we're going to start from the bottom here. We're going to just make sure we're clicked on horizontal line tool, and now we're just going to slowly move the cursor upwards. And give me a second. When I find a level, I'll tell you how I found it. So I see a level right here. So I just clicked the left mouse button. It printed the horizontal line. I'm going to go to my templates, and I'm going to go to monthly. And because I see it's pretty accurate where I wanted it, I'm going to just click on this and lock it so it doesn't move. Now when I try to move it, it won't move unless I unlock it, and then I can move it by left clicking and holding and then dragging it. But I don't want to move it, so I'm going to lock it. And I'm going to show you now how I found this point. So you can use the zoom tool. So if you go to the left here, you can just click on this zoom in, and I'm just going to highlight this area, and it zooms in for you. Okay, so I call it the two-touch rule. So to find a valid support and resistance line, we switch to line chart, which we're looking at right now, and we look for a touch from the bottom. So see how this line goes up and then down, and it's coming up from the bottom. So see this vertical line, it's touching the bottom of this vertical line. See that? I want you to really focus on that. So see this touch, it's touching this line from the bottom. And then we're going to draw a second arrow, and we can see that right here, the line chart came and touched the top of this line and then bounce back up. So that's what I call the two-touch rule. So I really want you to focus on this because some people, have a little trouble when I say follow the two-touch rule. So when you post in the student group, I want you to be, if you want me, see right now we're working on the monthly chart. So I want you to post your monthly chart. I want it to be inline chart. And I want you to draw these arrows. Later you can delete these arrows, but the point of these arrows is I want you to show me in the student group that you understand what the two-touch rule means and how you find it. So don't just post your chart in the student group and be like, is this correct? I don't want you to do that. I want you to show me your understanding, okay? So again, you can see that it came and touched this line that I put from the bottom, and then it came and touched this line from the top. And that's as simple as it is. So just find 2 points. I don't want you don't have to go back and find all the points. I just want you to find 2 clean points that touch from the bottom and then touch from the top. That's it. And that's what a valid support and resistance line is. So I'm gonna delete these arrows and I'm gonna continue the same thing. So I'm gonna go back up here to my shortcut bar and I'm going to look for the next support and resistance line. Okay, so give me a second here and let me continue looking. So the goal is to try to create zones. So later when we go to the lower time frame, I'll show you how it looks after. But right now, we're just trying to find monthly support and resistance lines. So let me just continue. I'm just gonna move my mouse up like this slowly and see where I can find 2 points. So here is something right about here. So you can see that here. Let me just highlight it. Up here, it goes up and it comes pretty close to touching the line. You want to see, and then here, let me just show you the second touch from the top right there. So see how it came, touched the line, and then it came and touched the line from the bottom. So the touch from the top, a touch from the bottom. So let me just sit back and just look it so you understand. See, there's a touch from the top and then a touch from the bottom. And you want to kind of move this line and just find like the average. You want to find see right now, you want to try to make them touch both points, but if it's just slightly off, it's okay. Just find the middle ground. Because once you switch to candlesticks, the wicks will touch it for sure. So just find a point from the top and a point from the bottom. This is how I want you to mark it up and show me your understanding when you post in the student group. But this is what the two-touch rule is. So I'm just going to delete this and continue looking. So I'm going to go back to my shortcut menu here, hit the horizontal line tool, and I'm just going to continue moving up. So give me a second while I'm scanning. Right here. And before I forget, you want to make sure you lock all your lines. So there you go. I forgot to lock this line, and this one here, I'm going to lock it as well. And then let me highlight the two touches. So from the bottom, we had a touch there. See that? From the bottom. And then we had a touch right here. Two-touch rule. One from the bottom, one for the top. Pretty easy. And I'm going to delete this. Okay, so I'm going to just go back to the shortcut menu, click on the left click on the horizontal line tool, and just do the same thing over again. So I'm going to start about here and just move up, move up, move up, right there. Another valid support and resistance line. I'm going to lock it right away before I forget. I'm going to show you the two touch. So touch from the top and a touch from the bottom. There you go. I'll let you look at the two-touch rule right there. A touch from the top and a touch from the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to delete these lines now, or these arrows. And I'm just going to continue. So let me see if I can find something in the middle here. That looks pretty good right there. Okay, so this is another example. See, let me just highlight them first. So right there and right here. So you can see a touch from the top and a touch from the bottom. I'm going to just click on the line and lock it in place. And I'm going to delete these arrows. So you want to kind of see the spacing of these are pretty good. You don't want to find too many, like you don't want to clutter them up too close together. Usually we're on the monthly chart right now, so there's usually a bit of space between these lines. It's when you get on the lower time frame that, that's why I don't recommend marking up the daily and 4-hour support and resistance line. I only mark those up, the daily and 4-hour support and resistance lines, only when I'm investigating a certain area. But I'll show you that later. Right now, we're just focusing on monthly support and resistance. So I want you to do this and make sure it's accurate, because these lines will stay on your chart for a long time. So do it once, do it right, and taking time in detailing your charts, I'm telling you, you will be rewarded by having successful trades. Okay, so let's continue. Let me see if I can find something here. So see, now we don't have any data up here. Now I'm starting to look further to the left. So that's what I mean. You want to first look at the data that is newest, and now we're going back over here. So right now, see this blue line here? This is where price currently is. So you want to kind of mark up below it, and you want to mark up above it. You don't need to actually, some people, don't mark up support and resistance lines here. You can mark up all of this stuff when price, moves up here. If you look at this data here, if you scroll down here, this is the date axis, and this is the price axis. So down here is the date and time, and the price hasn't been here since 2012, right? So that's why we don't need to mark up all of this stuff here, because we're down here right now and we probably won't be here for a long time. Who knows? We never know. But what I suggest is just marking up below current price to about here, and then maybe about up here. And we'll always come back, if we need to draw more support and resistance lines, we can always come back. But for this training module on the monthly chart, we're just going to draw in a decent amount of lines from about here to about here and see how that goes. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to click on the horizontal line tool, and my eyes are kind of focused here. Let me see what I see. There is a line right here. Let's mark it. Let's lock it. And let's point it out. So let me mark it up. So we had a touch from the top right here. Let me spread it out so you can see. You can also, like I said in the previous chapter, if you hold down the control key on your keyboard or command and use your scroll mouse, it'll stay focused on this one point and it'll zoom in. So it's a nice feature. So I'm going to stretch the chart vertically, and now we can really see right here a touch from the top, and then let's find the touch from the bottom. So there was a touch about, there's one there, and it also touched here. So see how I'm trying to find the middle between. So you see here, it does, the tip of it comes out just above the line. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to unlock this line. I'm just going to find the, the best middle between here and here. I just want to find a middle point. I think the middle point is about there. And now I'm going to lock it. Why I wanted to mark that line, because you can see it had a reaction here, it had a reaction here, it had a reaction here, and it had a reaction there. So definitely that point is a valid point that needs to be marked and noted. Okay, so let me see. Maybe I'll do one more on the top. If I can see something, maybe not. No, I think I'm going to leave that for now. This could be one, kind of. Also, I want you to see this can also be considered a touch. So if if I was drawing something here, this could be considered a touch from the bottom. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes you'll see this, it's going up and it kind of makes a little dent here and then continues going up. So I would consider that a point as well. So I think that's enough support and resistance lines for prices here right now. We've got enough on the top. I want to add some more on the bottom, and I think we'll be good for a monthly support and resistance line. So like I said, here we don't have, we haven't been this low since, December of 08. So we haven't been here in a while. So let me see what I see. So now, because we don't have very much data here, I'm starting to look here, I'm starting to look here, I'm starting to look here, and I'm sure we'll find something. Okay, there's a line. Okay, so I'm going to lock it. I'm going to stretch the chart out. So you can see we had a touch here from the top. And we also had a touch from here from the bottom. So check it, two touch from the top, touch from the bottom. It's a valid line. I'm going to click on it, make sure I locked it. It's locked, we're good. I'm going to draw maybe a couple more. Let me see. Okay, so right there, and I'm going to lock it. And I'm going to show you the two touches. So let me scroll to the left. Let me zoom in. So I'm holding down the control key or command key on my keyboard and using the scroll mouse. And this is where I had the two touches. So I had a touch from the top and I had a touch from the bottom. There you go, the two-touch rule. I'm going to delete this now. So you can see that because I don't have very much data on down here, we haven't been this low in a long time. I'm looking to my left now to find some valid support and resistance lines. So let me draw one more. Maybe right there looks good. And I'm going to lock it. And this is probably going to be my last one. And let me just highlight what I see. Let me use the zoom tool. So I click on that, make a box, and it zooms in. And let me find my 2 points. And I'm going to be using this point here. So a touch from the bottom and a touch from the top. There's a bit of separation there, so I'm just going to unlock it and just fine tune the line. Just find the actual perfect middle point between here and here. That looks pretty good. I'm going to lock it, delete these arrows, and I'm just going to right click on my mouse and hit reset. And that's pretty much it. So we found a decent amount of support and resistance lines that are above current. So this is where current price is. So we found a decent amount above it and a decent amount below it. And now we're going to switch to, we're back up here. We're going to switch to candlesticks. And right now you might be looking and being like, okay, I don't really see what I'm supposed to be looking at. And it's going to look like this because right now we're looking at the monthly chart. We don't trade off the monthly charts. We use what I call top-down analysis. So we use higher time frame data to mark up important levels, and then we go down to the lower time frames like the daily or the 4 hour. Let me just go to the 4 hour and hit reset on the chart. And now look at the spacing between. Now we have these zones. We have these monthly zones. So, you know, now it completely changes your view. Now, you know, we can trade from this monthly level to this monthly level, or we can trade from, maybe we want to buy, we can trade from this monthly level to this monthly level. So I'm just going to quickly jump back to monthly support and resistance. I'm going to right click on my mouse and go reset chart. And I just realized that I forgot something, and you may do this too. And that's why we saved a template. So see, my one line has monthly support and resistance. So I'm going to click on each line. I'm going to go to templates and I'm going to select monthly. Now I have the monthly show up there. It's still locked, so that's all good. I'm going to click on the second line, click on monthly. Where's my monthly? There it is. And I'm just going to do the same for all the lines. So I want you to make sure that all your support and resistance lines are labeled with some sort of identifier, so you know whether it's a monthly or weekly, because it's important to know which line it is, because the higher the time frame, like the monthly and the weekly, they hold more weight, or they're stronger levels. So we always want to know when price is approaching a monthly level or a weekly level. It's very important information. And this is just a perfect example of why saving these templates is great, because you can quickly label these lines. I believe they're all done now. Okay, so congratulations, you've just completed drawing your monthly support and resistance. So once you finish this and you've drawn in all your arrows and you're on line chart, I want you to use this camera icon and it'll create a link. Just copy it, and then I want you to post this in the student group, and I want you to highlight the 2 touches, and I want you to have it on line chart, and I want you to show me the monthly chart. I can only critique your monthly support and resistance if you post your monthly chart. So make sure you're showing me monthly chart, line chart, and make sure you have the 2 touches highlighted, because I don't want to look for you. I want you to show me your understanding. Okay, and once you've done that, then now we're going to go to weekly. So let's spread the chart a little bit. Now what we're going to do is, because we have a lot of weekly lines, we don't want to cram them in too much. We're just going to, when we have any big gaps, we're going to, look for weekly levels. So let's just start at the bottom. We don't want to clutter our charts. This particular pair, AUD, USD, drawing in just the monthly and weekly levels are more than enough. So we're just going to focus on the monthly and weekly support and resistance for now. Okay, so let's see what we see. So I don't see anything here. Could possibly have something here. I'm going to draw in a level here. So I'm going to click on the horizontal line tool. I'm going to draw a line right here. I'm going to change it to my template that I've already saved, weekly. So you can see it shows weekly here. You guys probably haven't saved a template yet, so do the same thing. You can either double click it, or you can just click it once and go to right here where it says gears. So there's 2 ways to access the settings. You can double click it, or you can click it once and then select settings. So same thing, we want to style, we want, pick the color. This is also the thickness. Text, you want to type in weekly. You want to make sure this is checked, show text. 12 is fine. This one's showing italics. I'm going to turn that off. I actually like it better without. And the alignment again is going to be bottom left. Coordinates doesn't matter. Visibility, make sure this is all checked. 1, 1 on 1. This is all the way to the right. So this is all, and then you can just hit go to templates, go save as, type in weekly, and hit save. So I've already saved it, so I'm not going to save it again. And then, whenever you put a new line in, you just go to your weekly and it'll load your template. Simple as that. Okay, so let's examine this one here. So we had a touch from this weekly line here. So we had a touch from the bottom right there. I'm going to spread out the chart. So we have a touch from the bottom. And then where's our touch from the top? So this one, it's kind of in the middle, right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this weekly line, and I'm going to just find a perfect middle point. Right about there is where I'm happy. And then I'm going to lock it. Make sure I selected weekly, so it labeled it as weekly, and it's locked. Okay, so I'm going to delete these, and then I'm just going to again just move my cursor up, and I'm just going to fill in. If there's any big gaps, I'm just going to fill them in. I don't see any, See a touch from the top here, any touch from the bottom. So this is what I want you to do. Just kind of scan, move your cursor up, see if you see any weekly levels. There's one right here. I'll mark it just for for this video purposes right here. I'm going to lock it. I'm going to load my template weekly. It labeled this line as a weekly. I'm going to show you the two touches. So one touch there and one touch here. And because it's kind of, this one isn't touching exactly, I'm just going to click on it, unlock it, and just right there. And then lock it. So you can see it's pretty much touching the line. And why I consider these ones valid, even though they're maybe just not touching the line, is because if I switch to candlesticks, you can see the wicks. The wicks have definitely touched it, right? So they're definitely a valid line. So when there's something close like that, mark it. It's a valid line. So I'm just gonna, now I see a gap here. I'm gonna try to see if I can find a weekly in here. And I found a weekly right there. So I'm gonna click on the horizontal tool right here, touch there, touch there. I just want to see I'm filling in these, when there's a bit of a larger gap, I'm just filling in the gaps. I don't want too many lines, right? We don't want to clutter our charts. So I'm going to select weekly, I'm going to lock it, and I'll show you the two touches. So we had a touch from the top, and we had a touch from, oops. That's not the right one, right there. And we had a touch, there you go. So a touch from the top and a touch from the bottom. And again, if you want me to, when you're posting in the student group, right now we're on the weekly chart. See that, weekly? You're gonna, the only support and resistance I can review is the weekly line. So 1, 2, 3. The only lines on this weekly chart that I'm able to look at are the weekly support and resistance lines. And I want you to highlight the two touches, and then I want you to go up here, the camera icon. I want you to copy this link to the clipboard, and then just go to the student group, and all you have to do is Control V to paste it, or you can just right click and go paste. That's as easy as it gets. That's how you share your charts in the student group. Okay, so now I'm going to delete these lines, or pardon me, delete these arrows. And that's about it. So now we're gonna go back up in the middle here, and we're gonna select candlesticks. So when you're doing any other lessons, you must be on candlesticks. The only time we go to line chart is when we're finding support and resistance. So these lines will stay valid for a long time. If price ever moves, see prices here right now, if price ever starts moving in this area, then all you're gonna do is switch back to line chart. We're on the weekly or monthly, you start marking up weekly levels, monthly levels. That's all you do, is you add lines as they're required, right? We don't need to mark up all the lines. It's a progressive markup. So we're just marking up the area where price is around, and who knows, the next couple of weeks it could shoot up here, or it could shoot down there, and our charts are ready to be analyzed. So we're going to switch back to candlesticks now that we're finished marking up the monthly and weekly support and resistance. Okay, now that we've marked up our monthly and weekly support and resistance, let's move down to the daily time frame. We're not going to add any daily, but I just want you to sit back and look at how the chart looks. So, still, this is why I tell my students not to add in any daily support and resistance lines, because we we already have enough lines right now. We want to keep our charts nice and clean. We already have these zones here, right? These zones. And I'm going to tell you in future chapters how to use all the different time frames. So I don't want you to really focus too much on that right now. I just want you to focus on how the support and resistance lines that we've drawn in create these zones. So what we're going to do is we're going to trade these zones. And these zones maybe don't look that big on the daily or weekly or monthly time frame, but my favorite time frame is to analyze, and I'm going to teach you guys to analyze, is on the 4-hour time frame. So let me just reset my chart and just take a look. Now we have these zones, right? You can see here price, it jumped into this zone. This is what we call support. So right here, when price on the bottom, this is what support is. When price, think of support as the ground. When price jumps up and falls back down, this is called support. And when price jumps up and hits the sky or hits above, it's called resistance. So the top is resistance and the bottom is support. And all these lines, that's why I just label them monthly and weekly, because it may be support right now here, but it always, these lines turn from support to resistance. So, like for example here, right here, price is coming up. It's, is acting as resistance and it fell down, and then it came back up. It's acting as resistance, fell back down, and then it jumped up, and now it came back, and now it's finding this area as support. And then from there, it jumps up. So that's why just think of these lines as support and resistance. They can be support 1 minute and then resistance another minute. So that's what I want you to just keep in mind. And let's just continue. I want you to kind of scroll through your charts and just look at, just kind of get the idea of what we use support and resistance for. So same thing here, like, look at this, price came up, hit this monthly resistance line. So because it's in the up top, we call it resistance. And then we could have placed a sell or sold here because we're like, okay, it's approaching a monthly level. We see some sort of rejection, and we could have sold, and it went all the way down here. We could have made a heck of a lot of money if we sold from up top here. So you can already see the power of support and resistance, and let me give you a couple terms here. So when price is, you may have heard, when price is going up, it's called bullish, or you may have seen a bull. So in trading world, they call it bull or bullish when price is going up. So if you think price is going to go up, you're referred to as, your mindset is you have a opinion that the price is bullish. So this is what bullish means when you hear it. Bullish means up, and then bearish, the animal, the bear. I don't know why in trading they use the words bullish and bearish. Bearish, is going down. So it's the bulls against the bears. That's the terms they use in the trading world. So it's always the bulls against the bears. Are you a bull or are you a bear? And that's the battle that always goes on. It's the bulls versus the bear. And then let me kind of just give you one of my favorite type of candle patterns. And I'll teach you candle patterns later on. But for example, let me just zoom in on this candle here. So this, because see this candle, this is called bearish engulfing. See this, the body of this candle, it engulfs. So this body totally engulfs this smaller candle. This is what you call bearish, because bears mean going down, bear or bearish. This is a bearish engulfing candle. And this could have been a sell opportunity, because one of the candle patterns I'm going to teach you is when you have a bearish engulfing candle, price usually after that continues downwards, and look what happened. You know, a bearish engulfing candle at a monthly level, and price continued to travel down. And the other thing I just kind of want to teach you as another term is I want you to look for retests. Let me show you a better example. There's a bit of a retest right here, but let me find you a really good example. So here's an example of the opposite. See how this candle engulfs, this blue candle engulfs this white candle? That's called bullish engulfing. Why? Because it's a blue candle, it's going upwards, and it engulfs this candle to the left. So when you see a bullish engulfing candle, that's telling you that there's a lot of buyers, and look what happens. The bulls take over and price goes up. And now I'm searching for retest. Okay, so here we have right here. So we have two bearish candles, and then price kind of falls down, and then it comes back up. This is what you call a retest. So see how price got hammered down, and then it came back up and formed. This is another type of candle pattern. It's a 3-pin formation. I'm going to teach you later, but this is what we call a retest. So when you see price is struggling here, it gets hammered down, it comes back and retests. This is why support and resistance is so important, because here we could have sold off of the monthly resistance, and it was a retest. This is the ideal place to sell. I'm going to teach you this. This was a retest of a monthly level, and then we got two bearish candles and price continued down. So this is the name of the game. We look for opportunities, areas. The candles are showing us some sort of pattern. We combine it with our support and resistance, and we try to trade with the trend. And you know, if you sold here, you would have made a lot of money. So that's the name of the game. I also want you to get in the habit, see this right here. This is the trend line tool. We learned that in the last chapter. I only use the horizontal line tool for drawing monthly support and resistance, but I'm going to show you what I call drawing random lines. So I use the trend line tool. So here you can see that this is this looks like a double top, almost a triple top to me. It's actually a triple top. So I use right now I'm using the trend line tool, and I'm just going to click here and see how my cursor, you can see it's got the dashed lines, the vertical dashed lines I'm making across. So see how I'm lowering it, and see how the green line is now in line with the dashed line. That's how you can tell that you have a straight line. And this is what I like doing. So when you see things like this, so this would have been another reason to sell. So you have a triple top. I'm going to teach you about triple top candle patterns later, but you have 1 touch, 2 touch, see how the wick touched, and then 3 touch. When you see a triple top, and then you see these bearish engulfing candles, this would have been a perfect opportunity. So you got a triple top, price got hammered down, and then came back up to retest this area. You got a 3-pin formation, and I'm going to teach you about that later. But see how I'm combining candlestick patterns with monthly support and resistance, with more candlestick patterns combined with a retest. You know, it dropped down, came back and retest this monthly level. This is a perfect opportunity to sell, because we have what I like to call confluence, and I'm going to teach you about that later. Us as traders, we look for multiple reasons to buy and sell. We don't sell and buy based on one reason. We buy and sell based on multiple reasons. Support and resistance is one reason, and I'm going to teach you many other reasons to look for on the charts. So just get used to using the trend line tool to draw what I call random line tools, because these random line tools, they're just mental notes for you, right? When you draw something like this, it brings to your attention that look, a triple top has formed. So I want you to, this is what marking up the charts is. You want to use these tools that TradingView provides us. And this is why I highly recommend you all have TradingView, because just look at the tools and the way the charts are displayed. They're just beautiful for us to work on, and I just love it. I don't know how you feel, but I absolutely love it, because what I see here shows me how to make money, and it makes me really happy. And one thing I want to also mention is, like I was saying, say you're investigating this area, right? Say you're investigating this area. If you wanted to, say, drop down to the daily chart, let me find that area again. Let me zoom in. If you're investigating a certain area like this, like I said, you can always jump back to line chart, and maybe there's some daily support and resistance. Maybe right now we're on the daily chart. Right here, I could draw in a daily support and resistance line. I'll show you the two touches. There's one touch here and a one touch there. So touch from the bottom, touch from the top. I'm going to also, I don't have a, that's weird. I don't have a, actually, sorry. I'm going to click on this line. I'm going to favorite it and, apply my drawing template as a daily. For this save template, my dailies are red apparently, but now I just keep everything black. But the point being is you can always switch to line chart. Say, you were investigating this area, there's a big gap in here. You can always add more lines while you're doing an investigation of a certain area, right? So that's what I wanted to show you. And then you would just switch back to candlesticks. I'm going to delete my arrows. And now you have this extra line. So now you have you have two monthly lines with the daily in the middle. Maybe I should have looked for a weekly first. Always look for the higher time frame before, but just keep in mind, what I'm trying to tell you is we draw in random lines. We also can add more support and resistance lines when we're investigating a certain area. Right now, I just wanted you to draw in and practice drawing in your monthly and weekly support and resistance lines, because as you can see, it creates nice zones for us to trade in. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up this lesson. Just going to give you another reminder that I want you to use the student group to your advantage, okay? So before you post, I want you to, go click back on your monthly chart, reset it, zoom in, make sure you're on line chart, make sure you're in line chart. If you want me to check your monthly support and resistance lines, so your monthly, make sure you're on the monthly chart, right? I can only examine your monthly support and resistance if you're on the monthly chart. I also don't want to do the research for you. I want you to mark up the two touches wherever they may be. I know there's not two touches in this area, but I want you to mark up the two touches. I want you to be on line chart. I want you to be on the monthly chart. And then I will review quickly. I can see, okay, yes, this student understands the two-touch rule. I can see the two touches. He's highlighted them. And then I can quickly review your charts. As the student group grows, it becomes harder for me to, examine everyone's charts. So that's why I need you to show me your understanding to help me support you guys in a more efficient manner. And then you can just click on the camera here, copy your link, and then post it in the student group as a new chart, or sorry, a new post. And then I want you to go to the weekly. And now I can only check your weekly support and resistance on the weekly chart. So you have 1, 2, 3 weekly lines here. I can check those lines, highlight with an arrow, the touch from the top, the touch from the bottom. Make sure you're not on candlesticks. I want you to on line chart when I'm reviewing your charts, and then just use the camera icon, take a picture, and post your chart markups. And then once you're all finished, you can delete your arrows, move back to candlesticks, and when you feel confident in this lesson, support and resistance, you can move on to the next lesson. Okay? I hope you enjoyed that one. It was fun for me showing it to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing your charts in the student group. Talk to you soon.